Hello, and welcome to the first episode of our Class 1D campaign. If you enjoy this content and wish to see more of it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Some more housekeeping before we get started. We are using a custom system linked in the description. Additionally, this is our second session of the campaign. And finally, going forward, plan on seeing the visuals for our session. Now, let's introduce the players.
I am Evie, and my character is May Mark. Delinquents, pink hair, pink powers.
All right, Dakota, if you want to go next.
Okay, cool. Sorry, Discord's telling me I got a thing. Well, I'm Decoder. I play Jason Alexander's, and I'm the so far only Quirkus one of Class 1D.
All right, Dapcha, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Dabja and I'm playing Ryuku.
All right, last but not least.
Oh, me. Yo, your boy Pyran over here, playing Yukio. He's a gamer.
All right, you guys have been officially placed into the UA Class 1D Hero course. You've passed the initial test, which means today, Monday, is going to be your first day of school at UA. Now, you are starting a week late, but you're not too behind, and you've been given all your stuff that you need free of charge, in fact, because, they didn't want to inconvenience you, seeing as it was later into the year. But I know 3 of our players are going to be staying at the dorms. If you just want to say if you're at the dorms or not, just so our audience can get a good idea.
Yeah, May is going to be staying at the dorms.
Riku staying at
So
the
is
dorms.
Jason.
Yep. And so these
Yukio is not.
Yukio is not.
He is a bitch.
Lame.
He rides so low. The people of the dorms, obviously, depending on when they wake up, may or may not be late for class. I suppose the same is probably true with Yukio, but he's got a little bit more of a travel time before he gets to UA. But just for levity's sake, we'll just say that everyone arrives at the entrance of class at about the same time. Some of you out of breath, others who have been waiting for your friends to get here because you don't really know anyone. You don't want to go inside because they're going to make you introduce yourself. So, feel free to step inside. I'm not going to make you. You could leave. Just skip. And Jason's the brave one. The first
Jason
one.
can go first. I'll be right behind Jason.
He's gonna walk in, realize he's the first one, and then just freeze up because he's like, I was not prepared to be the only one to walk directly in.
I'm just going to keep walking and sort of push Jason in front of me.
Yukio is
He's,
already
really
sitting down.
He's really frozen up. You gotta shove him.
Oh, that's fine.
Yukio's made his way into the room.
I'm gonna arrive a little drenched in sweat.
Someone slept in a little bit.
I arrive.
He is here.
Someone had to run.
All right. As you guys step into the classroom, Jason, obviously you're the first to notice this is a very eclectic group of people, even in a world with quirks. What makes them stand out probably most is maybe 2 or 3 are probably not in dress code. There's a guy really close to the window. He's sleeping, but looks like he's been sleeping for 3 days in that desk chair, and so he just looks like chances are he's a corpse and no one's moved him. And then there's one guy in this far back right corner who is dressed perhaps most oddly of all in full traditional Japanese festival garb. He's got a fan. It looks like he has like a wooden sword like strapped to his waist, like he's pretending to be a samurai of some sort. Has obviously watched too many Demon Slayer streams. And up at the front of the classroom, you see what you assume to be the professor, Mr. Mazda Madura, who's sort of just like, he's a tall, lanky individual who wears a sort of trench coat and gloves, and he basically is covered from head to toe, except for his face, neck to toe, and he's got graying brown hair, and he's got an eye patch. And as you come in, he's, yes, these are your new students, Class 1D. I hope you'll treat them with respect. Allow them to come up to the podium and introduce themselves. And he sort of beckons for you to come and stand and introduce yourself to the class.
Guys, was this homework?
Yes, this was homework.
I don't remember it being told earlier. Jason, you go first.
You were here first.
Maymarsh again pushes Jason onto the stage.
I'm Jason. I am 17 and I am from the US. Can I go sit down, please?
Mr. Master Maduro sort of like beckons to like one of the seats in the back, or basically take any seat you'd like. As you mentioned, like, hey, from the US, sort of a few of the students start like talking. A few of them like raise their hands to ask questions, like, oh, can we like ask questions about it? But you're already sitting down, and it's
Yeah, I'm
too late.
rushing to the first seat I see and sitting.
I mean, I'm not gonna make you guys go up and do it.
Hello,
Theo is not
everyone.
paying it.
I am May March. I am also American, but I've lived here for a while. I'm gonna take a seat in the back.
All right. Since you two, Riku and Yukio, have been given sufficient time between the two introductions, if either of you guys want to make a stealth check to just sort of sit down in one of the chairs in the back without having to do an introduction, DC's like 3.
Oh yeah.
Can I go and give Yukio like a free chance to go away?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay. I'm Riku. I'm originally from Kanagawa. I'm 16. Just here to learn.
There's a sort of
Any
polite
questions?
clapping.
Do I go?
Yeah, you sit down.
He just sits down without making a stealth check. He's just obviously playing on his PFP.
he sort of like
Not
ignores
even
the
paying
rest of the
attention.
class. He just sort of finds a seat, sits down.
Yeah. The first thing he did as soon as he walked into the room was sit down.
Hello, in case you aren't familiar with me, my name is Mr. Madura. I will be your homeroom teacher as well as your gym and self-defense coach. I know we have a few new faces in the class, so I'd appreciate it if we're all very respectful and we can help each other get along. In a few moments, the bell will ring. Jason, Yukio, Riku, and May, if I could see you for just a few minutes before you head off to your economics class with Vlad.
Yes, sir.
And sort of just as you finish saying that, the bell rings. And immediately we have a scene transition. Because I have that power. Because the entirety of the class runs out as fast as physically possible.
Damn.
Mr. Madura sort of like opens a binder and he's like, okay, there's a few things I need to go over with you just before we get everything started. Due to an incident occurring earlier last week, it's important for me to notify you that while your criminal record has been suspended, any illegal activity caught while on the UA campus will be immediate grounds for expulsion. I hope I don't need to make that any more clear.
How illegal is too illegal?
Don't ask questions that will make me suspicious. While the other hero courses require you to complete at least 50 hours of volunteer work a year, the hero course is required to complete 150 hours of volunteer work. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of opportunities.
I'm sorry, what?
150 hours of volunteer work.
Will there be work provided during class, or is
Of
this
course,
all
of course.
outside?
Alternative, if you ever go out and participate in a work study, or additionally, we often award extra hours for staying over on a weekend and helping with a drill or that sort of thing.
How many hours?
I believe your friends, Octogi, Yumi, and sorry, he just is very quiet in class. His name is slipped. He sort of flips through. Hanako.
Shiozaki?
Yeah, Shiozaki. He is. They were awarded a total of 15 hours for staying over on a weekend. So
Good.
don't worry, you'll have plenty of opportunities to make it up or participate in other ways.
Will there be assistance in getting our temporary clerk license? Should those of us who need them?
Of course. We've kept in contact with your guardians or overseers, and we understand what you're looking to get from this sort of curriculum. Don't worry, we'll try as best as we can with UA's resources to get you what you're looking to obtain. I can't promise anything immediately, but we hope to put you on the fast track for that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. I believe your next class is with Professor Vlad. He's down the hall and the second door on the right. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out or call me after hours.
Is there an email address we can reach you at?
Yes, it's cool guy at uaprofessorthing.com.
All right, thank you.
Very
Is that
professional email you got there.
It's exclusive because I'm such a cool guy at uaprofessoremail.com.
Can I roll something to doubt?
bro is him?
Yeah, roll. I guess it'd be like insight or like I don't know. You can also just choose to doubt. I mean, that's a placeholder email. I don't have an email for Mr. Mazda Madura. He gives you a generic one. It's
Nah,
like,
that is his email. What do you mean?
yeah, the cool guy at
I press X to doubt.
you press X to doubt. You doubt him completely. You're not going to reach out to this guy. He's trying to like double jeopardy you or something.
Bro's trying to sell my organs.
All right.
Gonna be late to econ, man.
Yeah, you guys rush quickly over to econ. There we go. We got your econ class right here.
Bro looks like a Chainsaw Man character.
Chainsaw Man.
Oh, Mr. Mazda Madura. I always say his full name for some reason. I just like the alliteration.
Like, doesn't he look like a
It's a very
Chainsaw
empty
Man character?
classroom.
Mazda like car.
Yes, Mazda like car.
Are we in remedial econ?
I have literally no idea what that is. You're learning about supply and demand because it's only the second week of school. Like they're not throwing hard stuff at you.
Oh, where's calculus, man?
I don't
Guys,
know. It's pretty difficult.
but yes, the economics teacher is Vlad. So he talks in that sort of low, like gravelly voice. It's not really Batman, but he's Bad's voice, the voice of Vlad.
Yeah.
So supply and demand. I'm gonna need you guys to make a general education roll.
Why do you hurt me so?
Yeah, that's just 1d6 for me.
Okay. Pretty good for 1d6.
I got a motherfucking 13.
Damn.
I got a
Bro
5.
is a businessman.
May's got a 2.
Now I should clarify what the roll was for. The roll was not to understand the economics. The role was to not fall asleep in Vlad's class about economics. It's not terribly difficult. He explains it rather well, but he explains it a lot and sort of slowly, and he sort of meanders a few bit, and it's early in the morning, and if you woke up late, sort of like that lulls you into sleep. None of you rolled poor enough, but a few of your classmates clock out like halfway
I
through the
rolled a
lesson.
2, by the way.
3?
2.
2? Well, you also clock out.
Okay.
Very, very quickly, Vlad starts he gets to that point where he realizes like 4 people are asleep, and he does like the loud shout. He's like, "Wake up, you whippersnappers!"
Yes.
What?
I don't know,
Supply and demand.
supply and demand. And
Money.
yeah, so a few of your classmates
Money.
wake up, shake up, except for the one who looks sort of like a corpse, who's also you didn't see him leave the classroom the first time, but he's here now too, I guess.
Did he move?
And that's it for econ, guys. You've done supply and demand. You have a quiz next week.
The one rule is to not fall asleep.
Don't fall asleep in class.
Rolls a 3.
All right.
Damn, what a waste of a good roll.
Give me a second while I pull up your guys' schedule, just because I want to make sure I'm not going to throw you guys into Vietnam or something.
Oh, please don't. We are children.
That's your third year. I've charted everything out. All right. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Your next class, PE/self-defense, which only happens on Mondays. The rest of the PEs are just regular PEs.
Well, Yukio's fucked.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll have something for you.
Power of 1, had I.
Obviously, I don't think you guys all arrive later than the rest of the class, but everyone sort of gets changed into their gym clothes and sort of sits down on the bleachers as Mr. Madura sort of stands. There's a whole bunch of these giant blue do you guys ever have gymnastic mats?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That is basically what is covering multiple sections of the gymnasium.
Kind of weird.
But yeah, you guys are free to find a place to sit. Looks like there's a few cliques.
Just gonna follow you guys.
Okay.
Alone.
Let's see. I'm gonna try and talk to Yumi.
Yumi?
Hey, Yumi.
Oh, hey, you're those people who saved us the other day or whatever.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way. Sorry I had to come in on the weekend for that.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked, but what doesn't suck here? At least they gave us 15 hours of whatever volunteer work or something. They're basically bribing us to do their chores.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot, I think. Everyone wants to have students do their stuff.
I mean, who doesn't love child labor, you know?
Did they at least give you volunteer hours for that?
Yeah, we got 15, or it might have been 18. I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, at least something came of it.
As you sort of continue the conversation, but it's sort of reached its natural pivoting point, Mr. Madura sort of claps his hand. He's like, all right, students, today we'll be learning how to flip an attacker over your body and slam them into the ground hard. Do we have any volunteers for a demonstration?
I'll volunteer.
Yukio hides.
If you try, so here's what happens. The entirety of class 1D all turn and look at you guys. Like wherever you are, whichever one's the closest, they all do the slow turn. And if you guys want to make a roll or some sort of check to figure out what this is, or you might be able to intuit it just from what I'm saying right now, but they all look at you and they get these, like some of them just look at you, like expectantly. And
I try to
so they
blend into the crowd.
didn't
I
do
fall to peer pressure.
I was rolling a an insight check.
Here's what happened the first week. The first week was another self-defense class. And Mr. Mazda Madura, it's hard to say what he did, but it was some sort of self-defense technique that was used against every other person in this class. And so every member of this class has been like flipped and like thrown about by Mr. Madura. And now they're looking at you like, come on, it's your turn.
The induction ritual.
I mean, May did like immediately volunteer.
May immediately volunteered. You'll go up first then. It's very, very standard. He just he gets into like a lower pose and he's like, all right, now I want you to try and hit me. No quirks. We don't need to destroy the gym. And if you're willing to participate, I would like you to roll a combat.
Ooh, that's a 16.
16.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Madura is caught off guard. He was like, I've flipped tons of kids in my day. What's one more? What's four more? What's four more kids? How do you attack Mr. Madura?
I think to start with, May's just gonna like sort of hunch down, try and get lower than Mr. Madura and go for like a tackle.
So you crouch down, you go for this tackle. It like you completely grapple him, but he sort of twists his body in a weird way and he sort of tosses you up, but then you like somersault. It's pretty close to like a stalemate. You get a grip on him and he sort of slips out of it and then he tries to throw you about in some other way and then you slip out. It's very, 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 very close. I'm going to roll for him. There's a chance he loses. There's a chance at 46, whatever. Ooh. It goes on for about 20 seconds. You're sort of sizing each other up, and then he decides to, at the very last moment, just before you're about to regain your footing, he goes for a leg sweep, which is, by the way, what he performed against the rest of the class first week. And so you sort of land on the mat, but everyone in Class 1D is very, very impressed. Like, the people who aren't really paying attention are sort of like nodding, like they feel vindicated for how well you did. And he's like, oh, all right, May, you can go sit down. You're very, very good.
Thanks. And I'm just gonna sort of like stumble away after getting knocked down.
And it's not a hard hit. You wouldn't even count as taking a point of damage. It's just he sort of knocks you prone.
Yeah, I imagine she just sort of like got the breath knocked out of her.
Yeah, he's not going to use excessive force against children.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, who wants to go next?
Riku would have like, you said everyone would have turned, right?
Yeah, everyone turned and looked as soon as he's like, "Can I get some volunteers?"
Yeah, Riku would have gone. He would have fallen into the peer pressure.
He's constantly suffering from it.
For real. Alright. It's a combat roll, right?
Combat. 13.
Hold
13
on.
is also pretty good.
Hold on. I
Okay.
have a class ability called the Black Belt, in where combat rolls, if you lower it by 2, it turns into a crit.
Oh, that does change things a little bit.
I did crit.
You take the crit.
I took the crit.
It's clear that Mr. Maduro is sort of like, he's like, okay, first one was a fluke. There is no chance that this sort of happens again, and it's just you just sort of speed blitz him. Is how I imagine you do it. Like before he's blind in one eye, he blinks his eyes, he opens his eyes, and you're on top of him. Maymarsh sort of exhausted him, and you're going in for the kill. I'm going to.
The street route, there was no rules, all I'm saying.
he was like, come and try and hit me, and you are like, challenge accepted. So you get one or two good hits in, but eventually he sort of manages to like duck out of your reach using like what speed he has, and he tries to like he's going to try and like turn you around him and like throw you off the mat. Not like just sort of like a shove off the mat, like disqualifying you. But he's gonna roll his. Ooh, not
Oh,
as good. He goes for a grab and he does like roll you, but you roll
can I
him and
reversal?
yeah, he ends up on the outside of the mat, um, disqualifying himself. And you could like class 1D is in uproars. These guys were like, uh, oh, we're gonna get to watch these guys get humiliated, and then the first two of you guys, like, one puts them on the ropes, the other one like kicks them off. Uh, Excellent job, Mitsumasa. If you could please take a seat.
Yeah.
It's sort of at this point where he's like, I think we're done for today. What I'm going to ask you to do is divide yourself into partners and find someone to work on using your opponent's body weight against them, which was what that was supposed to demonstrate, but I was clearly outmatched by your new classmates. Really, since the two of you guys pushed him off the mat, the other two don't have to go. He's like, I'm not going to try that again.
Let's go.
There's only so much his ego can take.
Doesn't like the fact that he got beat by school children.
Yeah, he's like, I was not expecting to lose. Well, let's be clear. One used like martial arts train, and the other one just like
Top
almost
powered.
overpowered him. Like he's not gonna
He's
try
just
again.
inhumanly strong.
But yeah, he asked you guys to divide yourselves into groups of two. We might need one group of three, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. And situate yourself on the mat. I'll be going around and giving some pointers.
I find the corpus kit.
If you guys want to talk to one of these people, decide to put them in a group, be in a group with them, or, I mean, these people are just going to divide themselves up as they see fit.
I find Jason.
Yukio. Oh,
Jason's
Sup?
over on the blue map.
Yukio, my guy. You trying to team up?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't want to go with the other two.
Now let's go.
They're a bit strong.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. All right. You guys sort of divide yourselves across the maps. May, you want to go with Yumi, or do you want to find someone else?
Yeah, if Yumi wants to, I'll do that.
Yeah, Yumi just sort of like stands up and walks away. Like she walks to the mat, like, come and follow me.
Okay. Let's do this.
It's gonna be like Mikasa versus Annie.
Divide
For real.
themselves. The guy who's asleep is still like asleep. He didn't really wake up for this whole thing, but he's like his partner like this girl who's a little shorter than him, smaller in size, but she drags him towards the mat and just sort of sets him down.
Bro's a heavy sleeper.
He's a very heavy sleeper.
I swear, if he's like that Black Clover character, someone who can like control dreams and stuff.
Oh,
But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then most likely not.
as far as you guys know, he's just asleep. It could be his quirk. Maybe his
Which
quirk's
is also
just
fair.
asleep.
He's probably the ace of the class.
He's the fucking Todoroki.
Nah, he totally is. There's a reason he's asleep, man.
You guys, I imagine, start getting into trying to like,
It's like grappling.
yeah, it's very simple. You grapple, and then you judo flip him over your shoulder. He's sort of like start at a slow pace and work your way up to a faster one. We don't want anyone getting hurt. And make sure your partner is paying attention before you start throwing punches. And he sort of looks towards this one guy in the very back who has a pretty lengthy hair. It's like young guy, but I always sort of approximate his height to like his hair length to like that long like hangs in front of his face.
Okay.
But and that's also where Mr. Mazda spends most of his time is just patrolling this one guy.
So he's the super
I think he's just weird.
About
or
15
it's like an
minutes.
actual criminal.
He's the actual, yeah, he's actually the BBEG.
He's the reason the whole program started.
About 15 minutes into this sort of like soft sparring session, like you hear a phone ringing. So the Mr. Madura like pulls his phone out of his pocket, talks briefly on it for a few seconds, which I would let Jason, Riku, or Yukio if you want to make a perception check.
What's my perception?
Nah.
Nah. Hey, choosing not to roll is a choice, and I support that.
Oof.
Thank you.
I shall roll
That's a 4.
with my 2. That's a 6.
All right, you guys can't really pick up much, but you do sort of recognize the sort of timbre of the voice, and you recognize it as Vlad, who you just had class with. Mr. Mazda sort of steps into the middle mat. All right, I have to handle something very briefly. Another member of the staff will stop by, I'm sure, but don't do anything for the moment. And he sort of leaves hastily. Can I destroy Mr. Mazda Madura? He is destroyed.
No!
He's dead.
And
He just fucking explodes.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, he basically just walks away, and the second he is out of the room, everyone stops pretending to like do this. Well, almost everyone stops pretending to do whatever they were doing and basically starts doing their own thing. They start talking amongst themselves. The two people at the top mat and the two people at the bottom mat continue, but this is very clearly like a, oh, we're done. We don't have to care about this sort of thing. You sort of watched as this like guy that was being patrolled the entire time, like sort of like walks over to the sleeping dude, and you can see like people sort of move out of his way. Hey, you're like the strongest dude here, right? You're the only one I haven't fought, well, except for the new kids, which I'll fight later. But like, you want to fight? You want to fight? You want to fight? You want to fight? He's still asleep.
He knew it, man.
Hey Yumi, what's that guy's deal?
Oh, Kuwahara. He wants to be top dog or something. He's like, he basically like the first day of class, he like punched Tetsuya into a wall. Kibe almost like it was a mess, dude, and there was it was bad. Kuwahara has gotten a bit more. He's like, come on, dude, fight me. I know you're paying attention. You get to sleep in class all the time, dude. Everyone else gets in trouble. You got to be out of dress code. Fight me.
We hear this all the way in the back.
Yes, he is not trying to be quiet about it. And the second this gets anytime it gets louder, everyone else gets quieter.
Just gonna start yelling, fight, fight, fight.
The second the word fight occurs, Kuwahara sort of
I pull
pulls
out.
his leg back in like a about to kick a soccer ball sort of thing and just connects with his chest. This sleeping dude's like he just connects and it just immediately like a bowling ball like knocking over pins immediately ends up in this group who are basically like who all like scramble to get out of the way. Octagi is hit. He sort of like he dives, but he gets clipped by the moving body. Hanako Shiozaki, he like catches this sleeping dude. But very quickly things burst out into chaos. A few people like step away, but very quickly like Tetsuya like sort of gets up to get in Kuwahara's way. And you see the guy in like traditional garb, like also like gets up to go like talk to him and then leaves immediately. Another kid sort of steps up to go like confront, and we like there's this confrontation, and then Kuwahara throws another punch at Tetsuya, but he misses. Tetsuya throws a punch, misses. Kuwahara hits this other like green-haired boy. People start stepping in to break up the fight, and this is very quickly evolved into a very chaotic fighting mosh pit. Yumi just sort of steps over below the basketball hoop, and a few people step away, but more people get involved. Some people appear to be on no side at all and are just throwing punches because they like to throw punches.
Jason would like to try and make a persuasion check to try. He's just gonna try and get them to stop. So
Yeah, no, actually, yeah. Like, what do you guys want to do? I mean, you can either choose to like non-engage, try and persuade them down.
Okay, so 5 plus my 2, so that's
7.
7.
So what was going to happen, which will now no longer happen, was this group was going to move around the gym and try and like pick other people up into the fight. Basically, it'd become a rolling ball of death. However, because you've decided to try and like get in there, persuade people to calm down, a lot of the force, like momentum dies down. You're able to, people start like pulling out. So it basically becomes like a 2v3, or it's still very hard to tell who's fighting who. But very quickly, you've managed to get other people out of the fight and out of like the zone where they could get hit by stuff. If anyone else wants to do anything, you could join the fray, try to put someone down, like knock out like the big problem causer, or you could like do something along those lines. But yeah,
Yukio is going to try to basically like surround Kuwahara with a bunch of pixels.
Kuwahara.
Basically, just try to trap him in there. Yeah, Kuwahara.
Yeah, just sort of get in his way, that sort of thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, if you want
but
to make
from a safe distance.
Yeah, from a safe distance, of course.
So I don't get punched.
Yeah, I understand that. If you want to make a control check,
Basically, trying to make control. Ooh, maybe.
yeah, I know you're good at this.
14.
14. So here's the thing. No.
Shit.
You did good. But here's what happens. Well, here's what would have happened if you had biffed it. Up until this moment, it seems like it's been pretty quirkless, right? Just like a schoolyard fight. If you had not biffed it, and if you had biffed it and you had if you had like raised the stakes to quirk fighting, it is very hard to tell where this could have gone. Because none of these guys have super apparent
Oh, shit.
quirks. But because you sort of like you like put them in their own like corners, like they're very quickly like brought out into like stay in your place. Kuwahara is obviously the most entangled. I'm going to give a check for him just to see if he like breaks out. Actually, he does get an extra dice for these.
Oh fuck.
It appears he has some sort of strength quirk, because listen, you created some pretty stable pixels, and he immediately starts like punching through them at a very high pace. He doesn't get out like immediately, but very quickly it becomes like a, oh, he's like he's very like trying to get to like seems like he's still trying to get to Shinji to like make him wake up and fight him or something.
Like, guys, can you like move in to try to detain this dude? He is very scary.
Just to clarify, this
Yeah.
sleeping guy, he didn't do anything. He just took it.
Yeah, he moved like a rag doll. He took a kick to the chest. He is still asleep.
Can I try to like check that he's okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean if you want to like roll a medicine check. He
Yeah.
got kicked in the chest, so there's not like apparent bleeding. He's not like obviously dying, but if you want to like check for like if he's been like severely hurt or something. You've seen this guy's dice pool. Probably a good thing to check. 2.
So 4.
Yeah, 4. He's not. It doesn't look. It's very hard to tell. He's not like coughing blood or anything. He's alive. He's breathing. He's just asleep. You sort of like if you like you pull off like he's wearing like a sweater or something, and like he's very quickly bruising, but he doesn't seem to care about it because he's still sort of giving like a slight wee in his sleep. His
Yeah,
breathing's
he's good.
regular.
No worries.
Yeah, I mean it looks like it hurt him. It did not wake him.
Just gonna shout. Yeah, he's good.
Jason's gonna approach. What's his name? Kuwahara,
Yeah, Kuwahara.
and he's gonna use his ability to automatically pass one intimidation check a day,
I love this ability. It's so good.
and he's gonna get in his face and say, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Attacking another student like that? One who can't even defend himself? You want to call yourself a hero?"
You see, like for the first couple of seconds, he's like, he doesn't really hear the first part. He's like attacking a, that's gone. The second you say you really want to call yourself a hero, he stops. He stops like clawing his way through these pixel barriers. Also, uh, Yukio, could you subtract 5 stamina?
Got it.
Yeah, just sort of a pixel like barrier. Even if you use the minimum amount of pixels, is gonna reduce your stamina quite a bit. But yeah, he stops.
Yeah.
He looks at you. He scowls. He like raises his fist and then he drops his fist. He raises his fist again. He looks over at the sleeping guy and he's like, he's gonna fight me someday. All right? He's gonna fight me because I swear he's gonna fight me. But fine, not now, later. And he just sort of pouts on the mat.
All right, Yukio would dissipate the pixels as soon as he seems not violent anymore.
Yeah. You can see like a few of the people who are in the fight have like bruises and that sort of thing. Shiozaki has a black eye. Kuwahara like sort of walked off with a little bit of a limp, but he sort of, you know. So each of them sort of sustained some damage, but no one was seriously hurt. Hanako will probably have to go to the nurse's office immediately after class. In fact, someone should probably take him now.
I'll take it.
All right. Riku, that was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You saved this guy twice now. He's like, thank you for saving me again. I'm so sorry if I was like inconvenient. As you guys sort of make your way this way, you do see the staff member who was coming to check up on you guys. Just sort of step in as you guys go past to the nurse's office. And this is 13. I'm not going to make you roll intelligence checks because either you as the player knows or you as the character would know 13. She sort of scans across the entirety of the crowd. Their eyes fall on Mae Marsh for a second, sort of continue scanning, sort of sees the aftermath of the fight. She like starts talking. She walks up, starts like talking to people. Odd thing is, like she starts like interrogating people, like, "Hey, what happened? Did something happen?" And nobody talks. Like it's nothing. It was like a spar thing gone wrong, right? Freak accident. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to like make a roll or something of that thing, but basically everyone is like denying that this even got close to hostile.
And Yukio does the same.
Yukio does the same. All right.
Yeah, he's like, this is what everyone else is doing. Might as well.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, I mean, anyone else like say something or along that affectation or something else?
Nope.
Yeah, I think everything's fine.
All right. Well, I think it's best if we stop for the day. We don't need anyone else getting hurt. Go get some basketballs from the closet, and you guys can shoot some hoops for the rest of the thing. And 13 just sort of walks over, stands by the sidelines, and is like, carry on with something that's not going to get you hurt. But yeah, basically, people just break off, start doing their own thing. The guy with the green hair sort of looks over at Jason. He's like, hey, you sort of broke up that fight pretty well. I was wondering, do you think you could, you and like the rest of your friends, right? You guys are like the new guys, right?
I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, could you guys meet with me on top of the Jehi building, like after like school today? It's just something I want to go over with you guys because you know you guys should probably know.
I mean, I'll try and get them to come, but I can't make any promises.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
totally
I'll
get
be
that.
there.
Totally get that. But yeah, I just keep it on the down low. But other than that, things basically go back to normal for the rest of class, and then you guys have math with ectoplasm.
Lol.
Um, but yeah, you guys had a pretty standard math class. You're only first years. You're only in your second week. Uh, obviously,
Nothing we haven't already seen.
yeah. This is all very basic stuff. But yeah, I mean, so this is sort of a different sort of interchange. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions about your classmates. So if each of you guys want to choose a question, if it's an obvious answer, I'll just give it to you. If it's a uh, sort of like an obscure thing, I might make you roll for it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about your classmates or about like Mr. Madura, who you had for homeroom and self-defense, I'd get those questions out now. A very basic standard math class with ectoplasm. Shiozaki arrives late to the classroom. He's got an ice pack on his eye. And I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions about your classmates. So maybe quirks, maybe who they like to hang around with, maybe like what sort of personality they have.
Well, Jason's gonna ask about the what he looks to be the girl immediately to his right, Haru Nishi.
All right. So like, what do you want to know? You just asking people around, or
Yeah, he's just trying to get to know him a little bit. He was so nervous earlier that he didn't get to be the his usual social self. He was just so panicked.
listen, classroom introductions will do that to you. Do you just ask her directly?
Yeah, he's just like, "Hey, sorry about earlier. Like, what's your name? Like, can I try and get to know you a little bit?"
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm Haru Nishi. Um, you might notice I record all the classes. Um, but that's just mostly because I have memory problems. So just sort of, I do it to make sure I can review the classes and get everything done. Uh, I really want to be like in a movie or like direct a movie or like write a movie. That'd be so cool. I work down at the theater. So my first day was Sunday. Have you guys seen like Barbenheimer?
Yeah, it was a very weird third act, though. Like a musical surrounded by constant explosions. I was just not anticipating.
Yeah, I mean it gets pretty like I wouldn't say dense. It gets like well, directors I suppose know what they're doing. I mean, I couldn't really pay attention, but noisy. It got a little noisy, but I think it works. It really conveys the message of like you know, understanding your true self and like destroying everything to like total annihilation and like um humanity,
Mutually assured
right?
destruction. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some great themes in there. Um, but yeah, she sort of starts talking to you about like she likes movies. You're not getting anything as obvious as like a quirk or like what she did that got her in class 1D. Um, but yeah, she just sort of is. She works at the theaters. She works at like the local like movie theater, and she records all the classes, which is why she's in the front row.
He's gonna ask, "Hey, do you think sometime like if I miss class or something, I'd be able to get like a copy of the note or copy of your recording for the class?"
Oh yeah, totally. That makes like super sense. Uh, and yeah, so this is officially one of the benefits of the Class 1D group chat, which is you can request like favors from members of Class 1D. And so Haru Nishi can get footage and that sort of thing, and get you into like movies for free and that sort of the like. But yeah, she could totally record classes if you miss them. Another thing to note is you might notice on her little thing that she has one red eye. That is not constantly red. That is blinking red, like a recording, um, like it's always recording something, like the recording like symbol. But she also actually has a physical camera that she has pointed towards the front of the class. Anyone else have some fun questions for their classmates? Does not have to be someone you're sitting next
Um,
to. Could literally be anyone.
Yukio would.
uh, you can go first.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Yukio would go up to Kuwahara. Hey, man, what's your quirk?
My quirk's like the coolest quirk. It's basically like all for fighting because I'm like the strongest and stuff. So what you need to know is that my quirk makes me stronger the longer my hair is, which is why I keep it long. I also get a little bit more durable the longer it is. That's why I'm so good
Oh.
at fighting. You want to fight? You want to fight?
Uh, with or without quirks?
I don't care.
With quirks, sure. I think my quirk's pretty good too.
Great, that'll be fun. Although I don't think we can fight now. None of the teachers like it when I fight.
Yeah, definitely not now.
Just
After school, definitely.
yeah, sure. Yeah, like sometime after school. But first I got to settle my score with that Shinji guy. By the way, the guy who's
Not sure
asleep
how
is still
well that's
asleep.
going
And now that you've talked to him, he doesn't ever look at you because he's staring directly at Shinji, like glaring.
Noting that. Note to self: bring scissors.
That actually is his quirk's one weakness is scissors. I have it in notes.
He's like that guy in the Bible.
Yep, that is exactly what his quirk is based off of. Sorry, spoilers.
For the Bible.
No,
For the Bible.
I think I named his quirk. Well, you would know. He'd tell you almost immediately. His quirk is Samsonian Might.
Yep.
So, Samson, the longer your hair is, the stronger you get. Which is a loose approximation. It's loosely based. I'm not gonna, claim to be
Yeah.
original in that regard.
Gonna get copyrighted by the Bible.
That's Yukio's turn.
All
I
right.
think the Bible is like whatever it is. Common.
Common license. Yeah. So, well, yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about like getting copyright struck by like the Pope. All right. Because I'm pretty sure he's not even on like YouTube. Listen, if the Pope finds this video,
We
we're
got bigger
already good.
problems.
All
Hop
right.
on the stream. Hop on the campaign.
Be fucking honored.
All right. Anyone else want to talk to anyone?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Yumi.
Yumi? All right. I can actually. Hanako Shiozaki came into class late, which means you get to sit right next to her.
Okay. Hey Yumi. What does your quirk do? I don't know if we ever got to
Uh,
see it.
Normally, I'd say this is like none of your business, but you did like totally like almost beat up Mr. Madura. So I guess I'll tell you. My quirk's called Pocket Dimension. Uh, it is what it sounds like. I can put items in it. I can take items out. I can go in it sometimes. I might be able to bring people in. I'm not sure. I haven't tested uh because I don't want to like only take half of someone.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. My quirk is anchor point. It's also exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, you like anchor a point?
Uh, I mean, kind of. I summon like a little anchor and just
Oh,
like, yeah, it's just there.
yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, sure, totally. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you seem cool.
Do you know what's going on with Shinji? Does he ever wake up or is he just always sleeping?
Uh, do you know about the incident like last week? Um,
No, we weren't here last week.
yeah, obviously, and I don't think they put it in the news. You guys weren't the first kids in Class 1D, right? So obviously you start asking questions like who were the first kids in Class 1D? Well, the first kids in Class 1D like totally turned traitor against the program. Like, I think they tried to kill a teacher.
Huh.
Um,
Is that why Dura has an eye patch?
no, he had that the first week too. We don't really know what it's about. It's not related to his quirk. He probably just got lost it in some sort of villain fight. It's probably why he's a teacher now. He probably just can't hero anymore. Uh, but yeah, I mean, Shinji was awake like the first every other day, like first week, but like after like Thursday, he just hasn't woken up.
At all?
no one's seen him wake up. He gets to class on time somehow, and he's like always where he needs to be, but he doesn't wake up.
And has anyone brought him to like the doctors or something?
None of the teachers are like, don't worry, it's all normal. It's super
That
freaky though. Like he got kicked early, like he got hit in the chest hard.
yes, that something doesn't seem right about that.
Uh, Him and Shinji and Kuwahara have like a strength quirk, so they're like the first like week they were sizing each other up, and they just have not settled that issue since.
Well, let's hope he wakes up before Kahara kills him.
Yeah, I guess. All right, Riku, you took Shiozaki to the nurse's office. Do you want to go over that interaction in there? Do you want to ask a question about one of your classmates?
Mm. I think Riku would have talked to Hanako on the way and been like, "Man, you keep getting in trouble. What's the deal with that?"
I know it's not really. So I'm really sorry if I keep on dragging you into things. Yeah, I dragged my whole sister into this. She was supposed to be in class 1A, but she sort of gave up her spot so I could be in class 1D. I'm like, I'm not. I've been told I have like the spine of like Jello, which I think is unfair. I think my spine is more like a jellyfish. All right. Um, but yeah, I'm always in trouble, and my sister always sort of has to bail me out. So thank you a lot for being there these like last like 2 times. I'll try not to get into any more trouble. I don't want you to like get in
I
trouble
get
with
it,
me.
man. It's cool. I get it. I have an older sister too.
Oh, that's cool. What does she do?
Right now she's just kind of studying at university. She's trying to be a doctor, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean that's real cool. I'm just sort of worried that my sister's gonna have to give up on her dreams because I do something stupid.
Hmm. How about this? Just, just don't. You know?
Well, that's what they always say, and then I always feel like I step in to help, and then like I only make things worse, and when I don't step in to help, it's my fault, and I don't really know what to do. But as long as I can make it through like the first semester, I might be able to transfer out into a different course, which means my sister doesn't have to worry about me.
You don't think she'd get more worried if you left?
No, I'd probably do like a business or like a general ed course. My
Hmm.
quirk's pretty useless, so I don't really see myself ever like becoming a hero.
What is your quirk?
Uh, it's called Stomach Bouquet. Um, it is not nearly as fun as it sounds. It like whenever I get nauseous, like I throw up plants and vines and flowers and thorns. Uh, but the inside of my body isn't really built for that sort of thing, so it's just very, very bloody.
Mm.
I mean, it's a great intimidation tactic.
You'll never see this coming. Blah.
Hanako, dude.
I mean, plus, how
Listen,
many
if you
people?
ever,
How often do you think someone's gonna want to fight you if you just start throwing up blood on them?
Hanako, if you ever just want to like talk or something, or you need help, just let me know, okay? I know a little thing or two about inside bleeding.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for, being my hero. Someone told me afterwards that you weren't like an actual hero, which, is kind of stupid. Of course, you're not an actual hero. Um, but yeah, thanks for all the help.
Hey man, no worries. And Riku's gonna dap him up.
All right. And he goes into the nurse's office to get his black eye checked out, and you can head back to class. And that is your guys' math class, which means you guys have lunch. in the middle of math class. A totally normal thing that all schools do.
Actually, my high school used to do something like that. You'd have to go. You'd have class, go eat lunch, and then finish that class.
Yeah.
It was evil.
Damn,
Like, are we eating
that
in class?
is
Some of your classmates have brought food from home and they've decided to just sit in class and eat. But most of them head off to the cafeteria. Noticeably, the sleeping guy stays sleeping. Uh, Shinji stays sleeping, but Kuwahara goes to the cafeteria. It seems like there's a few people that sort of stick around Kuwahara. It's not really clear why they do, but a few of them just sort of tag along with him and talk to him. A girl with pink hair, with a sort of blue streak in it, and guy in the very traditional clothing. You guys arrive at the cafeteria. This is, of course, the hero, like all the hero classes get out at this time, and so all of them are eating in the same cafeteria. Everyone sort of breaks apart from the, like one D very quickly becomes sort of spaced out throughout the space to go get their food or sit down or find a table. I'll point out these few things that I think will add a little bit of world building and just influence where you might want to sit down. Class 1A is sitting down on a whole bunch of large groups, about 4 or 5 people each, maybe like 5 to 7 people each, but they're all like, they take up like a table, but they only take up like one table. So it's like a table and then a table later down and then a table later down. So they're pretty evenly spaced out. So basically you could sit at any one of those tables and look, I wouldn't say out of place, but if you sat down on one of those tables, you'd basically just be a part of that group. The second thing to point out is class 1B sort of sits in like they push 2 tables together and they like all sit down in one area, which is notably odd, except for the Shiozakis who sort of like eat together in like a very far off corner. And well, I say the Shiozakis, Hanako Shiozaki and a girl with vines for hair, sort of sit off alone, and she's like one of the only class 1B people who is not sitting with class 1B, who is sort of treating lunch like a parliament. Class 1C is sort of spaced out between those two groups or forming their own groups. They're either sitting with a class 1A bunch, they're making their own bunches, or they're listening in on the parliament of class 1B. So if you guys want to sit down at your own table, sit down at someone else's table. I can tell you guys a few of the groups who are sitting down together. But yeah, I mean, there's a few groups. There's Yumi is sitting down with Octagi and a girl who's like got very pink long hair, who's sort of like a little bit short, almost slightly taller than Octagi, who is almost as short as Mineta. So she's like slightly shorter than, I guess you'd call it like Tokoyami, is a good indicator. Who's also sitting with another girl she's wearing like, she's got like a darker hair and she's got like amber eyes. A few of your classmates just sort of disappear. Well, they don't disappear. They walk off, sort of towards like an exit sign. So either they're leaving or they're going someplace else, outside of like the main buildings. But yeah, you guys can eat anywhere. You don't even have to eat in the cafeteria or the classroom. You just choose a spot on campus or off campus. You guys want to leave the last couple of days, like the last couple of hours, I'm not going to stop you.
Yukio would sit with Kuwahara's gang,
Kuwahara's gang.
or at least try to, I guess.
They don't stop you, but it seems like Kuwahara's gang is like talking him up while also talking him down. It's a very like they're giving him a pep talk, but like, hey, don't fight. You'll get him next time. Don't fight. You'll get him next time.
Yukio
Acknowledge
observe.
Yeah, you observe. They sort of acknowledge you as you sit down, but for the most part, they're just like, okay, we can't let this guy like kill a classmate because that would be bad.
Like reverse bodyguards.
Yeah, yeah, they're bodyguards for the rest of the class.
Nice.
But yeah, it seems like they enjoy Kuwahara, but they don't want him like actually hurting anyone. So there's something going on.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the worst dude.
You sort of got like weird
He's
protagonist
gonna.
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Where's everybody else? Then you can sit with Yukio, with Kuwahara's gang, or you can find somewhere else. Basically, anyone in the hero course is technically available to sit with. Um, they might treat you differently depending on what class you're in, like if you're in a different class or which class you decide to sit with.
Riku's gonna go get lunch.
Get lunch.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys choose. What do you think UA has? What are you getting?
Riku's gonna get a sandwich.
Just a
Cup
sandwich?
ramen.
Jason's just gonna have a salad.
I'll say May gets a burger.
Burger? Yeah. I mean, yeah. They basically got everything you would want. Rotation varies depending on the day, but if you think of it, they probably got it in either here or you could go to like one of like the small like convenience stores on campus and like pick something up there. Or you might have packed lunch from home. Anyone else sitting in a particular spot? Or are you just sitting down somewhere? If someone wants to talk to you, they'll sit with you.
I'll go sit with Yumi.
Yep, Yumi's sort of sitting down, like she's sitting with Octogi, another girl whose name you quickly learn
Yeah.
as Gumi Arakawa, who just basically spends the entire lunch playing with her food before eating it in like 2 seconds.
Mm.
But as soon as Octogi sees you sit down, it's like, oh yeah, you're the guy from like, you're the person from like Saturday, right? Well, you helped us, you saved us from the building, right? Totally.
Yes, I was definitely there.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys seem like really cool. I wouldn't try sitting at like 1A or like 1B. They don't really like us after the first week. I think like a few of them, not all of them, obviously, but like a few of them treat us sort of like we're villains. So just be careful of that sort of thing. Most of us sit like on our own.
Did something happen, or do they just think they're better than that?
Did you hear about like the incident or whatever? Like the first week they treated us fine, but like after like Wednesday, they started treating us like outcasts. I mean, like it's not bad, but like a few of them have like forced us off tables and that sort of thing. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Mm. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
just
as long
like
as you
sort
don't
of
like
look over.
get in their way, they're like totally chill. And some of them are like really nice. Like Momo Yayurozu, she like stands up for us every once in a while.
Oh, which one is she?
He sort of indicates to this girl in one of the 1A groups with black hair. It looks like she's sitting with like another kid with like, well, she's sitting at the same table, but none of them are talking. It's like a kid with like dark like blue hair who's like sort of mumbling to himself, and like a kid with like red and white hair, but they're sort of just sitting and like eating food very quickly. And then the guy with blue hair, like, and glasses, he like gets up and like very quickly heads off to somewhere else.
Okay.
Jason's going to avoid her table because he recognizes her from his father's corporate parties where the families were invited.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, you like slowly look across this crowd and you're like, I know far too many of these people, which means they probably know you.
Yep. So he's gonna just kind of try and find a table with people who don't recognize him, or hopefully wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, you just sort of sit down like quietly at like one of the tables where it's basically like, okay, there's one or two people here, but none of them are talking to each other. So they're just sort of all eating their meal in like a sort of calm silence. The kid with like the green hair is at this table, but he's sort of like scanning the crowd, like calculatingly.
Oh, he's gonna look up to him and ask him, "Hey, where are we supposed to meet again?"
Oh yeah, oh I can. He like sort of gives you like it's like the rooftop of a building. It's like near like the old part of campus. There's an old and a new part. He explains it very briefly. Old part's like, hey, the school is like 50 years old at this point. Instead of like redoing the campus, they just built a second one. It's sort of like a halfway in between point. It's just basically it's like one of the taller buildings. It has like a O center written like it's like a big signage. It's hard to miss. But yeah, if you just go there and like I'll tell you about some of the stuff you guys should probably know.
Okay, cool. And goes back to eating his meal.
Yeah, you try and like remain in the shed, like blend in with like the sort of general hero chorus populace. Anyone else sitting with anyone interested?
Riku's just gonna sit with May's gang.
Maze Gang,
Yeah.
Yumi, uh, Gumi
Off to
Arakawa,
get me.
Gumi Arakawa, and
Hey, Riku.
Yo, I didn't know you had that dog in you, man. Pretty
Huh?
good back in PE.
Oh, yeah. Um, People say I'm surprisingly strong. I can't tell if that's
Surprising
an
indeed.
insult or a compliment.
Hmm?
Anyway, I mean, you were actually able to take him off the mat, so good job.
It was just luck. I mean, really, he rolled himself off the mat, you know?
Yeah.
and with that, you hear the lunch bell like signifying like the end of lunch ring, and it is of course back to math class. For the rest of it, it's a very brief. Let me check the number of actual. Oh no, it's not brief at all. It's the longer part of the math class. You guys got out 20 minutes to go have lunch, and now you have like the next 40 minutes in math class. But you guys learn on like Pythagorean theorem, so you're drawing triangles. Ectoplasm is a fairly good instructor, um, and he often sort of divides himself to write multiple problems on the board at once. But other than that, it's a fairly uneventful class, since you've already got to ask your questions about your other classmates. Next is, of course, literature. I wrote down who was teaching that class, and now I no longer remember. I think it was Cementos.
Wasn't it Present Mike?
Present Mike is English.
He teaches English, yeah.
You know what?
Was it
Present
midnight?
Mike is the sub for literature today. Other teachers out. I'm fairly certain it's Cementos. But is it Cementos is his name,
Hilarious
right?
that All Might taught literature.
I think All Might's in charge of the actual official hero course.
I don't see English on the schedule.
Oh, it's listed as foreign language, I believe.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because we're in Japan. What's this guy doing? Muscle. All
Hmm.
right. You guys head back to class for your last literature. It's basically like, okay, on the first week we covered themes of a book. Today you're going to read this book, right? And so you're given your first reading assignment that you'll probably complete like halfway through the semester. It's fairly basic and standard. And then comes the final. Oh wait, I should probably choose a classroom. Haha. There we go. Just for the sake of our brethren. Class. Haha. And now, it comes to the final hours of the day, and you have reached dismissal. Immediately following dismissal is clubs, but you guys aren't in any clubs yet. Feel free to search them out. Basically, most any club that you're going to probably be looking, any standard club you're going to be looking for, probably find. You obviously know about the Paranormal Club. Unfortunately, it is closed this week. Any other ones? You sort of see your other classmates rush off to their own clubs. But as the guy with green hair is leaving the room, he sort of like whistles, like he sort of like nods over at. He doesn't whistle, but he like nods at Jason.
And he's gonna come over, but he's also gonna try and like wave over the rest of the other new students.
Oh, Jason, is there something going on over here?
Yeah. The guy with the green hair, I never really got his name. He wanted us to meet him on the top of one of the buildings in the old district or old part of school. Said he was going to explain some things, but like he was being very hush hush about it.
Seems sus.
Yeah.
But,
So we're
like,
definitely going, right?
yeah, I mean, I was gonna go, and I said I'd let y'all know, but he didn't.
You're gonna
He
go
said just bring
alone?
who I can.
Yeah, you definitely are not going alone.
Nah, man, that's a whole trap. What
Well,
was
that's
it
a way
again?
to disappear.
So you guys going?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Give me a second while I put you guys on top of the rooftop of the building. Da,
Gotta
da,
back up my
da,
roommate.
da. Un segundo. You guys pop out of the, I assume Jason was sort of leading the way. Riku's always just sort of been pushed into the front.
Oof.
But you arrive on top of the roof. You don't see green-haired kid, but you do see these four sort of like they're in UA uniforms, but they're all smoking like cigarettes. And they sort of
So they're not dressed like assassins.
no, these are generic bad guy outfits. In fact, if you click
Okay.
on them, I believe they do say generic bad guy.
Okay,
Yes.
Oh
These
my
sorry.
god, they're
You
actual
said they're going like
delinquents.
they're dressed like assassins. Oh no.
No, these guys are dressed like UA students. They're the bare minimum to be counted as in uniform. It looks like they've got like a pack of cigarettes, like maybe a bottle of some undetermined liquid, and they're just sort of camped out up here. Like the four of these guys look to be like these three look to be talking about something, and then this one guy is sort of standing at the edge, sort of like looking over at the rest of the school.
Alright, so either someone put a hit on us, or we are unknowingly hitmen right now.
Hey man, this ain't got nothing to do with us.
You see the sort of leader-looking fellow. I can actually make him bigger, so you know what he looks like. The sort of leader-looking fellow sort of looks over his shoulder as he hears like the door close to the rooftop, and he's sort of like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?
We're meeting someone.
You
Why don't
better
you?
meet him somewhere else. You don't want you guys to get hurt or anything."
Yeah, why don't you all just scram?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. If you wanna reconsider, I'm sure it'd be fine, but we're sort of chilling up here. Actually, you've seen too much. Probably
Hey,
should
hey,
just
hey, hey,
teach you a lesson.
big man, big man. Look, we'll just go back. Nothing happened. I don't even know who you are. What's going on? I'm half blind, man. What's going
This is
on?
the most cliche bad guy thing ever.
You guys in the hero course?
Nah,
Look,
man.
not care less what you're doing up
Sorta.
here. You just need to meet
Cool.
someone.
Can I ask what the role is
So
for?
seems too much. What?
Yes, sorry. Jason's gonna try and I was letting everyone else say something first, but Jason's gonna sit there and try and persuade them and go, listen, we were told to meet someone here. He has like green cropped hair and wears a mask. I don't know if y'all know him. He's
Oh,
in the 1D course. We were just told to meet here.
you know that
And
guy.
that's +2 to that, so that's 9.
9. All right. You sort of like they sort of stop approaching. They sort of look towards the big guy and he's like, "Huh. Yeah, Kenta. I'm trying to remember if he owes me money. You guys his friends?"
No.
No, he just told us to
No.
meet you.
No,
Oh.
you're not his
I already
friend.
met him. Who?
All right. Well, if you guys aren't his friends, you guys wouldn't mind if you don't tell him we're up here when he comes up here, right?
Who's up here?
Or you could just be up here.
I got business with Kenta. You guys stay out of it. I'm perfectly fine with that. But Kenta and I have problems. I think it'll be best
And
resolved with the 4
I'm
of us.
sure you can settle your problems later.
Listen, here's my ultimatum. Scram, or I beat you up and then you scram.
Guys, I say we scrap.
I say they scram.
Hey, this is a brick.
We can't wait in the
Yeah,
corner
I
or
say they
something.
scram.
As you guys I'm not, you guys aren't obviously saying, some of you might be saying this out loud, some of you might be conveying it in the looks you're giving each other. But this guy sort of right here uh, picks up it's like a loose brick. It's obviously not fully formed, and he's gonna chuck it.
I would immediately try to shoot him with a laser.
Laser? Okay, you want to roll
Or at least shoot the brick.
shoot the brick. You're shooting something with a laser. If you want to roll control,
Yeah.
he's gonna roll just a basic attack.
10.
10. It looks like he was trying to throw it at Riku.
Yeah.
But you sort of blast it out of the air. It was Riku. What's your AC?
7.
7. Yeah. So it was going to hit Riku. That was not a go away throw. That was we're gonna hit you first throw.
Quick
And
thumbs up to you.
Just all right. These guys asked for it.
Okay, can I just run up and tackle that guy on the ground?
of course, but first I'm gonna ask for speed checks all around.
Would that be tempo or just outright speed?
Speeds for initiative. You can roll tempo later to change your initiative.
Yukio got a 6.
Jason has 4.
9 for May.
11.
Woo!
Whew.
All right, and May.
9.
9. All right. I got to roll for these guys. Ooh. And the small guy's got a 6. So, sorry, just okay. What did he get? Oh, Riku, you're up first, I think. Right? 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're up first.
I'm assuming we have our backpacks.
Yep, you got your backpacks, you got all your school stuff. Unless you don't have them for some reason, assume you have it.
No, yeah, I do. I'm gonna take out my wooden practice sword, and I'm gonna go for this guy right in front of me.
Right in front of you.
It's just
All right.
straight. Hold on, 2d6 plus technique. Eight, eight play.
Yeah, that hits.
11. Yeah. All right, that's a hit.
Yep.
Okay, and then another. Jeez. 12.
12
Yeah,
damage,
2d6
man.
plus technique. So 9 plus 3.
Yeah, you like it might be like the first guy threw the brick. This guy was sort of in on it. This guy was not expecting things to. He was like, "We're gonna scare him off." So the second the sword connects with him, he's just down. He's like, "Oh, that was." He's completely conked. If he had a quirk, it's not really relevant. He sort of gets slammed back. You obviously didn't kill him, but you've knocked him down, and he's basically out of the fight.
That's my turn.
Yeah, unless you want to move
I think I'll move back.
back.
Hold on. Yeah,
I'm sorry, we both grabbed him.
fine.
Yeah.
That's my turn.
All right. Next up is next up is the big guy. Well, he's not actually big. He's about the same size as the other ones. But he sort of he sort of takes the cigarette he was smoking out of his mouth, and he sort of lobs it in between both May and Jason. Give me a second to. Oh, I can hide the roll. Ooh, that's scary.
This better not explode.
Well, could you guys each make either a speed reaction or a block fortitude roll?
Yeah, moved out though.
It explodes. Okay.
You
Oh
said
god.
speed reaction or
Ooh!
fortitude?
Yeah, speed reaction or fortitude.
I got a fortitude of 5.
5. All right.
I'm making a fortitude. I got a 12.
12. All right. Nay, you get hit with the brunt of this. You go to dodge, right?
I did fortitude.
Oh, fortitude. Oh, then this actually does change the roll a little bit. You go to block. You sort of anticipate. Oh, this might explode. And you each take. It's only 5. May you take 5. Jason, you take a reduced 2. So he sort of throws it, and instead of exploding in the way you were probably expecting, it sort of instantly galvanizes before it touches the ground, and it sort of shocks everything in a surrounding area. Next on the list is May. You're up.
Okay. I didn't like that cigarette thing, so I'm gonna like run straight up to the leader and do a targeted strike.
Oh, all right. Roll.
Okay. That's
7.
7.
Now, let me be clear. he does try and like block the targeted strike, but it's he is not quick enough or fortuitous enough to prevent the strike. He is a control maniac. He does not have either the fortitude nor the reaction to stop a 7, and you meet his AC.
Okay. Then the damage for that is 9,
9 damage.
and it should stun, I think.
It does stun. He's not nearly
Oh wait,
as
I think I also add power, so 12.
12. All right. It doesn't look like he's as soft as the other guy who went down almost immediately. It looks like he's got some sort of like like he's wearing like it's not like a bulletproof vest, but he's wearing like extra padding for some reason, like a sports like vest or something along those lines. So it doesn't like take him out like the first guy, but he's a bit more. But you do stun him, and he looks a little bit caught off guard by the strength of your hit. Next up on deck is Yukio.
Hello, I am here.
Yep.
The guy who threw that brick, he seemed like a bitch. I'm going to create another. Actually, wait, question. Have we recovered any stamina during the day?
No stamina recovery yet. If it had been not school, maybe, but because I consider school to be a taxing event, no stamina recovery, sadly. Actually, you had lunch.
Got
Wait
it.
a second. You get 4 stamina back. You're basically at full.
Ooh, nice. Then I'm going to create another. Actually, no. I'm going up to the guy who threw the brick. Now I'm going to try to basically like cover my fists in like little pixels as like gauntlets and try to attack him that way.
Just like all right. For now, since this is sort of like a unique use of your ability, roll control.
Hell yeah. Control. That is a 11.
11. You form these like hard light pixels around your hands, and you just slam them into the guy. He threw a brick. Your hands are now bricks. That's basically how this is going for him. If you want to roll damage, use your power, but you can add +3
My
for
laser
damage. Huh?
Ah.
Yeah, so if you roll like I don't know what the power like roll
Oh,
D6
nothing.
is equal to your power plus 3 for the cubes.
Got it. That'd be 5 total damage.
5 total? Oof. You hit him hard.
I have 1 power.
Oh, that's rough. You hit him. The pixels do help, but it's not enough to quite match. And now he's ready for you guys, so he's not as immediately brought down in the fight. But he does take a pretty heavy
He's
hit
like-
to the. Yeah.
He just like looks at his fist like, I gotta work out more.
Yeah. You hit him, he turns, and it's like, man, I really thought that was gonna do better. Next on deck is.
And my laser pixel, would that be able to do anything? Oh.
Oh, not if the way you describe the application is slightly different from the laser pixel. If you had created it like just in the space and fired a laser at him, that probably would have been a little bit different. But if you wanted to treat the as gauntlets, you'd basically just roll a d6 instead of the damage you got, which theoretically could be better than 5. And we can just retcon it.
Nah. Okay.
All right.
Never mind then.
All right. But you do get a pretty good hit in.
I-
It's not a not hit. These
I
guys have
end my
very
turn
low
in-
health. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Nah, it's just Yukio begins to accept his fate now.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can take a step back. Like, it's their turn next. So maybe getting out of the range is a smart idea, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But yep, next is their turn. The big guy does not go on this turn, but the two little guys do. The two generic bad guys. Well, they're bad boys in this one. They're delinquents.
Wait, I didn't get to go.
Oh, did you
Just
not?
like
Oh,
us.
yep, my bad. Sorry, 4. Wait, no, yeah, these guys go before 6. These guys have a 6 on their initiative.
Oh, I thought you meant we were in like a surprise. We had a quick surprise round. That never mind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean this
Okay.
is these two guys are just gonna go. This guy's gonna sort of vault
Okay.
over this little like barrier and just sort of land there. He's sort of standing pretty close to the edge, but he doesn't look. If you hit him, he's not gonna fall off. And then this guy runs up to May, and they're both gonna make attacks with their bare fists.
Okay. Can I use my anchor to block one?
Give me a second while I pull up the anchor ability. I need to get this sorted out into a better, more convenient spot. But yeah, you could totally. I mean, if it's a reaction ability on the anchor,
Yeah.
I have no reason to deny you that reaction. Discord does not like me. Alright.
Okay. So that was a 10 control check to block.
All right. Just because currently I don't have the sheet pulled up. A 10 pulled up to block will give that some good old damage negation if he rolls exceptionally low on his to hits. He goes to hit you, it is not even close. Like, you put up the anchor and he hits it hard. He critically failed. Actually, I'm gonna roll damage on himself. He hit the brick he hit a rock solid anchor with his bare hand. Yeah, you can hear like the crack of like, oh, you punched something really hard as you can. So he like hits it, like starts like blowing on his hand and like steps back a little bit to try and like regain his composure. Yukio, he's gonna go. The guy next to you is gonna try and attack you. Also critically fails.
Oh shit!
These guys are bad. These guys are real bad. Clearly, they've been drinking up here on the rooftop because he goes to hit you and he just sort of rolls over until he's like back against the door.
Yukio accidentally pulls off the move that
Yeah.
Jim.
You were taught in class. It's like he sort of puts his arm just perfectly there.
Yukio doesn't even know what happened. He's like, "Oh, yep, I did that."
All right, Jason, your turn.
Is the guy immediately to the left of me? Is he like injured at all, or is he just kind of like embarrassed that he just fell over?
It looks like he did get hit by Yukio. So he's taken about 5 points of damage. He's not just embarrassed. He probably hasn't dipped below half health, but he's still standing.
Okay, then I'm gonna try and kick him with a roundhouse kick.
All right, make your roll.
Okay, so it's combat, right?
Roundhouse kick, I believe, is specifically technique.
Technique. Okay.
But if you want to flavor a regular combat roll as, like a roundhouse kick, that's perfectly fine too.
So that determines damage. I thought you have to roll for combat to hit first.
Actually, no, I'm not even 100% sure. Yeah, just roll combat. Roll combat to hit, and then you'll do technique for the damage. That makes sense.
Okay, so what's my combat? My combat is
Yep, you're completely right. I just pulled it up on the PDF.
it's a 12 to hit, so that's a crit to hit.
Yep, you you pull out. Could you just roll the damage so I know?
Okay, so that is my technique, which is 3d6 plus 3. 10 plus 3 is 13, and then however crits work.
Yeah. So this guy, Yukio hit this guy. He's very clearly drunk. But that does not matter in this circumstance. Because this roundhouse kick just flattens him. Like, he like gets hit and then he doesn't realize he's been hit and then he like falls over. So he did not really stand much of a chance against that roundhouse kick. You like with both you and Yukio's hits, you like doubled his health. So he's not dead. He's just, unless you specifically intended to kill him, I recommend not. They're
I do not want to.
yeah. That was a circumstance where that option was available. Wanted to make sure you knew, just in future cases. But yeah, you just level this guy.
And then would it be possible? Would I be able to make an intimidation roll to the others just from how just because I just kicked the shit out of that guy?
You crit succeeded. Yeah, I'll give you yeah, you can take a free intimidation.
Okay, so let me double check what my intimidation is. So it's 2d6. 8.
8. This guy that Riku had sort of hit is sort of starting to gain his composure. The hit didn't like knock him out, but he gets up, looks over, watches you decimate his friend, and he just leaves.
I'm out. Not worth it.
He taps. He had like 4 health left. He was like, "Nah, I'm not even gonna go for another attack." You see, generic bad guy number 2, sort of coast around, obviously outside of his turn, but he's just he moves sort of over to behind the big guy. Yukio, if you want to get an attack of opportunity against him, and May. I don't know how that works in this game. I'll give you a free attack. His AC is 6, so
Would learn from Jason and try to do a roundhouse kick.
go for the roundhouse kick. All right, you want to roll combat?
I would need to crit in order to hit.
Go. Believe in your
I got a
dreams.
5.
5. Oh man, you're almost there. If he had been a stationary target, it would have been so cool.
I'll take an attack on him too.
I really gotta work out more, man.
I think I'll just do like a regular punch as he's walking by.
Yeah, you're just gonna slug him.
So that's a 12 to hit.
12 will hit. Well, actually, he's going to try and dodge out of the way of this one. Nope, he does not even get close to dodging. Yeah, you hit.
And then 7 damage.
7 damage. He's not out, but he, like, you hit him, and he sort of, he, like, fumbles back more. It is very clear that if the big guy goes down, he is just going to be out of the fight. He's not going to fight you guys. If big guy goes down, he might, if you, yeah, he's basically going to run the second this thing goes from any number for, like, he realizes very quickly it's a 2-on-4. So, yeah,
I have a quick question.
shoot.
It says over in looking at my character sheet and then looking at the uh PDF for the Class 1C PDF, it says for roundhouse kick, it's a D6, but on here it says on the character sheet it says D4.
There might be a discrepancy. I think roundhouse kick is actually more powerful because there's a different kind of kick for, so there's a regular kick, which is just the technique
And
damage.
then there's roundhouse, and there's drop kick, but drop kick also stunts.
Yes. So roundhouse is the more powerful. It's D6 still, but you add your technique to the final damage, I believe.
Yes.
I think there's also a mistake for targeted strike. I think that should also be D4 instead of
Yes, the
D.
D4 for targeted strike, and then a D4 for drop kick.
Yeah, and then flurry of blows is supposed to be a D6 if it doesn't.
Yes, I do not know how that error occurred between the disconnect between the PDF and the thing, but just use the PDF instead of the character, like the character sheet they give you. I just baseline
Okay.
to the PDF unless you don't care to look.
The rule of cool.
Yeah, really cool. More often than not, I'm not going to grade you guys on unless I feel like something is obviously being misinterpreted. You're probably good.
Well, I just wanted to double check to make sure that I wasn't like overstepping my boundaries.
Oh yeah, no problem. And yeah, you crit, so the damage is going to be insane on that anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're no worries. But now we return back to the top of the order. At a Riku.
I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna attack this big guy.
You're gonna attack the big guy. All right. Make your attack
Combat,
against the
right?
big guy.
8 hit.
Oh, you're just a little bit shy. Well, in your defense, there's sort of like a low barrier in the way. You can't really get the full extension of your. Actually, no, he's stunned. Never mind. Yeah, you just hit.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Oh yeah. 2d6 plus 3, 9.
9. You give this guy a pretty good hit with this sword. He's still looking fairly sturdy, but you guys have hit him pretty hard, and he's still stunned, which means he won't get to act. For instance, he won't get to act now on his turn, which means we go right back to May. You're up.
Okay, so now that he's no longer stunned and he's looking pretty hurt, I think I just want to like grab him and then dangle him over the side of this.
Oh my gosh.
No, not the edge of the building, like the little ledge between the
Oh yeah,
buildings.
yeah.
And I'm gonna try to just like intimidate him a little, like say, you should have just ran off.
All right, you're trying to get him to just forfeit leave.
Yeah.
All right. All right. If you want to roll intimidation, I'll give you a plus. I'll give you a +3. Jason has, I believe, a combo of 2. Rico has a combo of 1, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes.
Oh
That's
my,
stuff.
how?
So I have a +2 to intimidation already. I rolled 6, 6,
Two
and
sixes.
5,
Oh my
and then
goodness.
extra +3 for 22.
So this guy was,
If we're hopping in the combo,
yeah,
I got a 9.
You got a 6.
yeah. So this, he clearly anticipated this going a different way. You sort of dangle him over the edge, and he like this guy who just saw that intimidation, like retreats back with his other friend.
It's like,
He's
Do you know who
gone.
we are?
Yeah. You guys have
we
truly
are
terrified this
Heisenberg.
delinquent. He like he sort of like it looks like he was preparing some sort of shock attack after he became unstand, but he's like, all right, we'll scram, no. There's no cameras on the top of this building, all right? So no one will know, all right? As long as it stays between the two of us, this is totally cool. And like, if you ever need like a favor, we'll like hook you up or something. And you can keep like the cigs and booze.
Fuck
Yeah,
off,
I
man.
suppose May will just like sort of like pull him back from the barrier there and sort of like let go with a little push just away.
All right. Yeah, he very quickly like takes this, picks up his buddy, and just dips. These guys are all gone. You guys have officially done your first combat. Congratulations.
Yay!
As the combat ends, you watch as Kenta appears at the top of the stairs. Hey,
Did you
guy.
set that up?
No, I've set what up? The guys who ran off? No.
Well,
Why
apparently
are we
you owe
here
them
then?
money, and they took exception to the fact that we know you and you owed them money.
Listen, I owe a lot of people a lot of money. It's not anything special. I'm in the delinquency course for a reason. Anyway, there's something I gotta tell you guys. And that's where we're gonna end it, guys.
Oh my god.
We went a little bit over. I'm sorry I started the combat a little bit late. I was like, well, either combat first session or no combat first session. I was like, well, might as well have combat.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of character
I
though, like
broke someone's skull,
Yeah, listen, they're not gonna say anything about it. That guy's still gonna like go to the hospital.
but he fell off. He fell down the stairs
Yeah, yeah, he fell down the stairs a few times.
with a
Yep.
boot on his face. Yes,
just the boot mark.
he was trying to save his sneakers from getting scuffed. It just didn't work.
All right.